2, 1. What's going on, guys? Ben from the Hoop Crate. Oh, shoot. Let me start that over.
Hey, ready? Hey, no editing, bro. What happens when you don't edit?
All right. All right, this is Ben from the Hoop Lifestyle Podcast. Welcome. This is episode 3. Finally, we're getting it recorded and getting it going. Appreciate you guys tuning in. This is, you guys know Nick. If you guys have seen our previous episodes, Coach Nick right here. And this is Donnie, coach of the Spartans. We're going to be talking a little bit about a couple different things from the coach's perspective, as well as life in basketball in general. And, you know, ask these guys a couple questions and get their take on certain things. But first and foremost, I want to introduce Donnie as a Spartans coach, and maybe have you tell a little bit about yourself, what divisions you coach, and why you started coaching.
So first off, I got into basketball at late age. I was 14, freshman year, high school, so I started really late. So I had to catch up quickly to a lot of these players, but I had a good basketball IQ, so that's kind of why I'm coaching now, because I was kind of already made for it, Age-wise, I've coached everything from 10U to 16U in literally just, 4 seasons? Because I coached multiple teams each season.
This is Sparta!
Divisions, it depends on the team. We've had D3 and also D2. I don't think we've had a D1 yet. We've played one tournament D1. But,
so Tracy Spartans is AAU, right?
Yeah. So, it's different divisions depending on the tournament and what team it is and everything. So, for the most part, I think I did a lot of D2 so far, coaching-wise, because I've always had a good team.
Who's the head person in charge of the whole program?
Archie.
Say hi to him.
What's up, Archie? Shout out to Coach Archie.
Archie gonna say something anyway.
So is there multiple coaches? Obviously, there's how many coaches are in that program?
It depends on how many age groups we have to coach, but we tend to have 5 to 6 coaches every season.
Okay.
Sometimes more, sometimes less, depending on if they have an assistant coach or not. So it all depends on the numbers, I guess, to say.
Okay, cool. I was wondering on one thing too, so recruiting wise, are you guys always recruiting constantly, even during that? Because right now it's off season, right?
Yeah. Actually,
it's about to start. The season's about to start.
Well, no, we already started. Winter season starts this next week.
Yeah,
so.
That's what I thought.
But actually, recruiting wise, I think Spartans might be the one AAU team that, because I'm close with a lot of AAU teams, obviously, but this one I've been with since the very beginning. They might be the one organization I've seen that doesn't really just go everywhere. Okay, let's get this kid. Let's get this kid. Let's get.
Tough decision.
You guys are both terrible.
Hey, this your first time playing basketball or something?
No, I played 4 years in college.
Where?
Harvard.
Adam. I'll take Adam.
Loser.
It's more we look for kids that come to us.
Okay.
Now, with me training and coaching at St. Paul's,
yeah.
I have picked up some of those kids as well because they were looking for AU teams. Some of them actually wanted to come to Spartans, they just didn't know how to. And I was like, well, you're in luck. I coach Spartans.
Yeah.
So it's more the kids that are determined to come to us instead of us trying to get them.
Cool. Yeah. Shout out to Coach Emilio, right? Coach Sal.
Coach Emilio,
Out of
Coach
St.
Sal,
Paul's.
Coach John.
It's all Tracy. Cool, man. So that's kind of a good segue into, and then maybe I'll throw it over to you, Nick. So Coach Nick over here, again, from Ball Don't Lie Academy, right? You guys don't know, the link's right here. You want to touch it? Touch it.
On the platter.
There you go.
On the platter.
So get that link right there. So, I mean, what do you think, what do coaches look for really when it comes to recruiting a player? What are the top 5 things for you?
So the AAU teams that I've coached for is a little bit different, I guess you can say, from the Spartans aspect. So, like you were talking about recruiting, so these are AAU teams in Texas that I coached and everything when I lived out there. And shout out to Eclipse AAU.
Got the shout out.
Always, Coach Willie, Coach Arnon.
What's up, Coach Willie?
Probably ain't watching.
Yeah, he's definitely watching. A bunch of dudes out there. But so he we as an AAU organization, we did a lot of recruiting. We had a lot of people that went to high school games and stuff like that. So the top 5 things, is that what you asked me? The top 5 things as as a player, what I look for, number one, man, I call it the motor. Some coaches call it effort. It's not all about the fastest, the quickest, and everything. It's all about the motor. So basically, the motor means how much effort you put into basketball or training or everything, how much effort you have on the floor. So you always recognize that person that's everywhere on the floor. They might not have the best shot and stuff like that, but you always recognize that person that's playing D, always going to try to grab the board, always boxing out, always doing that kind of stuff. So that's probably number one in my opinion as a coach that I look for, is something that I call as a coach the motor.
Who would you compare that to, like in the NBA? So they have kind of like an idea.
Patrick Beverly, man. He's not the best offensive player, but he is everywhere on the floor, man. He's everywhere.
Yeah. Okay.
A new youngin coming up. I mean, you got to shout out to my Warriors. Pascal, he's another one. He's always everywhere on the floor.
I don't even like the Warriors, but he's nice.
he's always everywhere. So it's all about that motor. I think that motor has something to do with conditioning as well. So
did you say he didn't like the Warriors? Should we just kick him out now?
Oh, I forgot.
I guess it's.
You a Laker fan?
Nah, I'm a Detroit fan.
Okay.
You're from Detroit.
Nah,
Okay.
yeah, you good.
Hey, you respect. I respect.
Hey, but we one thing we learned out there is hustle. So
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you can't fault that. That's true.
I would say number one is the motor. Fundamental as a kid. That really doesn't matter what age group I look at. Fundamentals. As you get older, you still need the fundamentals. High school, college. You still need that fundamental, that solid foundation. And then number three, you got to throw in skills. So how they shoot the ball, how they're dribbling the ball, how they protect the basketball, stuff like that. So skills would be probably number three. I got to pick five.
That's I was thinking too.
Nah, so I got
Just
motive.
gonna say whatever he said.
Just quote him.
Except for
No,
number
so-
three, I'm gonna switch that one up.
So, number four, that basketball IQ, man. The decision making of basketball IQ, I think, are hand to hand. So, how are they on the floor? How are their decision making? How are their turnovers? Did they make the right move? Are they taking good shots? Stuff like that. Number five, it's hard for me as a coach to say this one, but I look for passion, and it's hard to find passion in the kids at times. Sometimes kids come out and they're scared in practice, they're nervous. It's tryouts. They don't know you as a coach. They don't know everybody, so that passion might not come out in the beginning, but you can tell if you have the passion for the game, like I have the passion for the game, like these guys have the passion for the game. You can tell the kids that want to be there, that want to make basketball fun. That's passion, man. So those are my top five, I would say.
Nice. What about you?
Go ahead, Don.
No cheat sheets, man. You can't be like.
No. My top five. To start it off, actually, I am going to agree with them on that first one. Effort, the determination. That's the first thing you got to look for. If I find the best kid out of every player out there and he don't want to play basketball, I'm not going to take him.
Yeah.
I mean, if he don't want to play basketball, I don't want him.
Yeah, right.
It's simple as that, you know?
That coachability.
Yeah. Actually, the second thing I was going to say was, are they a coachable player?
Okay.
If I can't coach you, then how am I going to have you play for me? Because
Right.
I'm supposed to be your coach. You're supposed to be my player. If you're not coachable, I can't do nothing with you. You're not going to work with the team. I don't need you. Simple as that. Third thing I'd have to say.
So on the coachability thing, are there any players that you feel like are in the NBA that aren't coachable right now?
I would say this season, no. But in the past seasons, we have seen a few that are there and not. Actually, one to say, some may say Jimmy Butler would be one of those, but actually it was more the coach wasn't getting the best out of him and the rest of the team, so that he decided that I'm not going to stay with that team.
Right.
Which I completely respect that.
Yeah.
You know, look at him on Miami right now. He's killing it.
Yeah.
It's harder, I think, as you grow in basketball levels, so as you grow as high school to get to college and then you get to the NBA, I think it gets harder for coaches and harder for players at that high level, like you talking about like LeBron, all the top players in the NBA. It's hard for them to I guess you could say, not respect the coach, but once you get that, like Popovich, like once you get that coach that is the most, like you can, no matter what you do, you have to respect them. That's when I think they take the next level. So like, for example, like LeBron, like he always has not been coachable, in my opinion. Like playing in the NBA, he wants to do his own thing. He wants to run everything. But now, once you get a coach and once you get a system that is working for that person, then that's when I think it really becomes like you take that next level as a player and as a coach in both ways.
Okay. Cool.
Because it's harder. I mean, you're talking about high athletes making a lot of money, and you're talking about a coach that can play basketball, but obviously can't play basketball as high as them. So
and some of the coaches can't.
Yeah,
they don't. They're just like
it's all brain.
Popovich was a player in the NBA before.
Right.
Yeah, so
Phil
it's
Jackson.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So sorry to interrupt you.
My bad. Number 3.
Third option. I mean,
threw you off. My bad.
Whatever. My third thing I would probably look at is skill. How much have they played basketball? How much do they know about basketball? How much, like, have they been in like competitive basketball or just rec league or whatever?
Yeah.
Fourth thing I'd have to say, I don't know actually. I think fourth thing would be, does a player know their role on the team? Do they know what they're good at, and do they know what they're not good at?
Right.
Because I don't want a kid who he's 6'2" at the age of 12. Which actually I did see a kid who's 6'2" last tryouts, age of 12.
Damn.
I chose
What
him.
the heck?
Like he didn't look like he played basketball much.
Yeah.
But I talked to Ed first before I made a decision. I decided I'm gonna get this kid to develop him.
Yeah.
So hopefully this kid's gonna be good because he'll go to 13U for the next season because he turns 13 in the next season. But he's 6'2" at 12.
That's crazy.
He didn't look like he knew much
What
about.
are you guys eating now?
Yeah, he couldn't. I don't think I seen him take a jump shot. Thank you.
What kind of growth hormones they got at McDonald's,
Exactly,
man?
That's what these kids are eating these days.
But you can look at a player and tell that they haven't played like competitive high level basketball.
Yeah.
But the one thing I saw him do the whole trials was he got a rebound and kept the ball above his head the whole time.
So he kind of had an
I've had kids.
That's a big.
I've had kids I've been coaching for
Yeah.
3 years.
Bring the ball down.
Still
Try
bring
to
the ball
do something
down.
with it. Yeah.
He kept the ball up and just kept putting the ball back up every time.
Yeah.
That's the main thing that got me to say, okay, I'm going to take this kid. Because he has that. I don't have to teach him that. I just got to teach him footwork and fundamentals. That's not hard.
Yeah.
I can do that.
That's good.
And then
That's important.
fifth thing, what did you say?
You can't cheat, man.
Hey, we just said no cheat sheet, bro. Come on, man.
Fifth thing.
I said passion for my fifth.
What do you think about that? That's a big deal. The role playing thing, the knowing the role. That's a big
You got to
deal.
know.
I think it was. So I was reading this book, Mamba Mentality.
I read the whole thing. I love it.
It's a great book.
It's one of the best books out there.
Yeah. And Kobe said that when he talked to Bill Russell, that was like the main thing that he took away from talking with Bill Russell is that he always asked Bill Russell about different game situations, stuff like that. And Bill Russell was never like a dribbler. He never shot. He just rebounded and blocked people. And he was like, why do I need to dribble when I got Bob Cousy over here? Doing all that work. And why I got to shoot when I got my other guy shooting?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was like the fact that you touched on that. That's a huge thing. And that's one thing that Kobe learned when he was already professional. Like, he didn't really think about it in that way until he got to the professional level. So kids learning that right now, hearing you say that, I think that's going to help them, like, understand, like, okay, this is my role on the team, or maybe I even have to ask my coach. I gotta ask my coach.
That's another thing I want to hit on. I don't mean to interrupt you. But that's another thing I want
He
to hit
still got
on.
number 5. By
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Actually, no, it might
But
I already got my number.
That's another thing I want to hit on, guys. Like, as a coach, as a trainer, I think it's important to speak to your kids more than you speak to them. So I see a lot of coaches, I see a lot of trainers that just teach skills, teach whatever,
Right.
but they don't speak to their kids, right? So the kid might not even know that he has the green light to do whatever he wants on your team, but you ain't telling him that he has the green light. Or, hey, I don't want you to shoot threes, and you're going to get benched if you shoot any threes. Like, you got to know that role, but as a coach, you also got to tell your kids and tell your players that role that they need to play on your team. So it might be different from AAU from one team to another team. Kids might be playing on 2-3 different teams, and they might have a different role on every single team.
Yeah.
But as a coach, you have to be able to tell them, hey, this is your role on this team. We have 7 shooters. We don't need you to be shooting that ball. Right. So I think that's another big thing. Like as a coach, as a trainer, speak more to your kids, but tell them that what role they need to be playing, so they know that in their head. Like, hey, coach is gonna pull me if I shoot threes or do whatever that role is, whatever that role means on your team.
Yeah. Like speaking off of that, you know, we have seen examples, not calling out names or anything. We see a lot of examples of that.
He was earlier.
I ain't gonna lie. Nah, but like you can't have your like players assuming what they can and can't do, and because you want your players 100% thinking about the game that they're playing at the moment in that game. You don't want them thinking 80% about the game and 20% about, okay, I don't know what I can and can't do, so I got to start figuring that out during the game. They should know that before the game starts, what they can and can't do. Right. You know, if you have 100% of that player in the game, you have a whole different player than the 80% of that player in the game. You know,
you don't want them micromanaging their own game.
Yeah,
because they're afraid to do certain things. Yeah, I got you. Okay.
So back to the 5th thing.
Number 5. There we go. Number 5.
He said part of it, but I'm gonna kind of change up a little bit. Basketball IQ is one, but when basketball IQ comes a player who I think this technically does fall into basketball IQ. A player that asks questions, that talks to their coach when they don't know what's going on, like we were just saying. That's still a part of basketball. Asking questions is still a part of basketball. That's a part of life in general. Yeah. If you have no idea or you don't have enough of an idea of something, ask somebody.
That's a great idea. I'm with that.
Because if you don't know something, someone else might know it. You know, knowledge is like huge. Like it doesn't stop.
And that's what they tell people. Like I know when I used to work, and this is outside of basketball, but when I used to train people at work, when I used to manage a store, that was like one of the things. If you don't know something, find somebody that does. Yeah, but don't pretend like you know it.
Exactly.
Because you're gonna look like a fool. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta find out. He even tells people in general, like tell your fellow teammates, whatever. If I don't know something, I'm gonna find somebody that knows the answer, and I'm gonna get back to you, and we're gonna work this out.
You could guess and maybe get it right 1, 2, maybe 3 times. But eventually, you're not going to get it right.
Yeah, those are the times.
At one point, and you're going to look real bad when you do it.
Yeah,
you know, and that's going to make you feel bad. You know, I want a vocal player that will talk. Yeah. You know, I don't need a player that's going to be silent, sitting in the back, not saying anything, wondering what to do, and not doing anything. I need someone that I don't care if you're in the back because you don't know what to do. As long as you spoke up and asked, and you said you don't know what to do, and you ask about it, that's good because that's still showing.
Speak up. Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest, man. You got something to say? Say it with your chest.
Like, because, that shows determination.
With the point that he said, man, communication in basketball is key. Yeah. Communication is key to have chemistry on the team.
Sorry to cut you off, but Spartans.
Y'all need to talk.
Every team I've coached so far.
Spartans,
no talking on defense at all.
Oh, that's the worst.
That is one of my biggest pet peeves. I'm yelling at them on the side. We could be up by 30. I don't care. If you're not talking on defense, I'm going to take the whole 5 of you out and put a whole new 5 in. I don't care.
Actually, I told him not to call anybody out. He just...
Sorry, man.
I didn't call out someone specific. I called out
You called the whole organization out.
They all did it. They all did it.
I love it.
Hey, Archie can vouch for me.
Yeah. Archie be like, preach.
We've been talking. Edgar vouch for me. We've been talking about that. That's a big problem right there.
That's good, man. That's good. No, I think a lot of teams need to know that. Right? 100%. A lot of teams need to know that communication is key. Like even playing it,
even us
in rec ball,
even us. Just the games that we've been played. Like he picked me up and we played 2 games now. And that's key, man. None of us has played really together. Like he's played with a couple dudes, like together or whatever. But as a team, we've never all played together. Communication, man, is key to be able to become successful and be able to become a chemistry team, to have good chemistry. Communication is everything.
Yeah, I got a story about not the last tournament last season, but the second to last tournament. One of my best players, which is our starting point guard, he's guarding their player. A big dude on the other team sets a screen. No one calls it out. He hits it, injures his neck. He was out for the rest of the tournament. You know?
You gotta call those out.
And
dangerous, man.
We called the timeout to make sure he was okay.
Yeah.
But not just to make sure he was okay, because we had to get at the team. We was mad.
Yeah.
Me and Ed was mad about that, you know? Because now we have one player out because you guys didn't want to say something, you know? if y'all said something, we could have avoided this whole problem.
Yeah.
And it might have even turned into like we get a turnover and then go and fast break layup, you know?
Yeah.
But now we have one player out and it wasn't a foul.
Yeah, I think that's important. Like teams got to understand, even like like we're talking about in our level too as well. Like constant talking is so important. Like there's no reason why you're not talking. Like if you're not talking, you're just like, what are you doing, man?
I
like,
always used to say, if you're not talking because you're too tired to talk, then you need to be on the bench.
right?
There's no excuse for that one.
yeah.
Like talking does not take that much energy.
That's what I was gonna say. I was like, man, who gets tired of talking?
Yeah, if you're tired of talking, then I'm
That's
tired
true.
of seeing you on the court.
Yeah, that's right. That's true. I think that's important for all levels. Whether you're like a kid playing brand new to the game of basketball, teaching these kids or kids, if you're watching, making sure that you're talking constantly, even if you're the only one, because it catches on to the rest of the team. If you're yelling, you're talking, you're showing that energy, like Draymond Green, for instance, he's a big talker, right? Other players as well.
Yeah,
I don't really. Patrick Beverly, never stop. Yeah. Always talking to his team and the other team, right?
Maybe a little bit more to the other team than
Yeah.
Too much, but you know.
Hey, but that's what I used to do that when I played too. So.
Yeah.
But your teammates feed off of that, right?
Yeah, they feed off that energy.
I also have some of the most texts in the season, Spartans, but I mean, hey, it's because I talk about it.
And that's all right. That's all right. So does Draymond Green.
Exactly.
So it's all good. Cool, man. So appreciate you guys for the 5 things. That was a different. That was a perspective from a coach. I think that's important to for people to know is like your guys' perspective on why what people look for, because kids that want to join a team or whatever, that's gonna be important for them. So like, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is what I need to focus on. Because those 5 things is a lot of things, obviously, just even for you guys saying it. But for somebody, a person to actually want to say, okay, I got to work on my effort. I got to work on my basketball IQ. I got to work on this and that. That's important. And now they can go out there and do it.
Not really a 6th thing, but like just an overview, and I'm pretty sure you both could agree with me on this one. If you're like new to basketball, you've been playing basketball, whatever, but you're like having second thoughts about trying out for a team or trying out in general for anything, the one thing you want to tell yourself to work on before skills, IQ, anything, work on your confidence. Like flat out, you need 100%. I'm gonna go do this and try out here. You may not make it even after the fact. You might make it surprisingly even to yourself.
Yeah.
But that confidence, coaches can see that confidence.
Yeah.
I can see a confident player and tell a confident player from a player that doesn't have confidence.
Right.
So, like, you have to have confidence in anything you do in life in general, not just basketball, anything.
That's true.
So,
I mean, that's actually a good point too, because I mean, I think like with different age groups too. That's another segue into the next thing, like for the different age groups and how they react to coaching or how it is to coach the different age groups. We talked about it. I've done like a little bit of assistant coaching for little kids, like 6, 7, 8 year olds. You guys are obviously a little bit getting higher, older, more high school and middle school. Yeah, so I think confidence is a big thing too. But different age groups have different confidence levels.
Yeah.
The young kids that I teach, they don't give a damn about
confidence.
confidence.
You can expect the same level of confidence from a 16U team than like a 10U team. Obviously, you're not gonna if you do on the 10U have some player that has the same amount of confidence as on a 16U, then you want to really focus on that player and really develop them,
right?
Because that's something you can't teach,
right?
But you shouldn't expect it though.
Okay.
Every level has its level, like a bar set for the level of confidence,
Right.
But after you get into high school, freshman level and up, maybe even 8th grade, depending on where you're playing at. Because
there ain't no depending on where you're playing. 8th grade, it needs to start at 8th grade. Because once you get to that first
I see some really
level,
trash teams at 8th grade level. Like I'm gonna put it that way.
Maybe they're too confident.
Maybe.
Right? Could too much confidence be a bad thing too? At the same time, where it's like overflowing past the team aspect.
Okay, yeah. If you think you can take over and not be a team and take over and just do everything yourself, I don't really think that's too much confidence. I think that's too much. What's the word? That's too much like
arrogance.
You got too much green light.
Yeah,
Too much green lights.
It's like you're too full of yourself.
Okay.
That's not confidence, really.
Okay.
In my case. Like,
I think that's true because I mean you can see it at any level though, right? Where there's a kid that really is just doing too much, but he don't care, and if he makes a mistake, he doesn't care too.
Yeah.
Which nowadays I hear a lot of this, right? Move on to the next shot, which is important, right? We talked about this before. But at the same time, know
your role.
know your role, like what
Exactly.
you're doing.
Move on to the next shot, but also still think about that shot.
Yeah,
Exactly.
be accountable. I think accountability is like one of the key things. In all. But like I said, I mean, the different age groups, like you said, I mean, it's pretty much the same 8th grade and up. For more like the middle school kids, you don't think it's not a big deal. You're more focused on what? What are you more focused on with it, like the younger group?
But it's not even just confidence in yourself. Confidence in your teammates, too.
Yeah. Okay.
Confidence in your coach. Confidence in your training. Confidence in others, not just you. You know? First, you got to work on the confidence in you.
Mm-hmm.
And then after you pass that, then work on the confidence in other people, obviously.
All right.
So with him being what he just said, it's kind of not a little bit different off the subject, but it still goes with the subject. The one thing that I really preach to the kids that I train, the kids that I coached and everything, you might have from the beginning point of your life when you start basketball. This goes for all sports, but you might have the beginning of your life to the end of your career. You might have 100 coaches. You might have 1,000 coaches. You might have 1,000. How many ever coaches and everything like that? Take something from every coach you have. Now, not every coach in this world is great. Not every coach is going to have a different perspective of basketball, a different way of looking at basketball, a different way of coaching style. But take something from every coach that you have, right? So like what he just said, have confidence in your coach. Well, you might hate that coach, but he's still your coach.
There's something he knows that
for
you don't
a reason per se, but you can't change that he's going to be your coach.
Yeah.
So you got to work around about maybe he's a crappy coach, but he still knows that 1% of something out of that whole thing. So as kids, as players, as all through all sports, really focus on that. Really focus on the mentors in your life and the coaches and everything. Really take something from every coach. I've reflected on every coach that I've had in my life, and I'm like, I probably haven't liked 3/4 of my coaches. But I try to take back and reflect on what that coach said, because it's important. Speaking into kids' lives and coaches speaking into your life and mentors speaking into your life, that's big. That's going to make you grow in life no matter what you do.
Yeah.
So we talked about it before, basketball and life and how it brings discipline and all that kind of stuff. It all comes together.
I'm going to add on that. Like, me personally, I like most of my coaches for the most part because I seen it both ways. I didn't just see it as a player's point of view, oh, I hate this coach. Like, I seen it both ways, where they're coming from, where I'm coming from. But the coaches that I didn't like, I still took something from them.
Got to.
Like, my motto was, I may not like this coach, I may like this coach, but one way or another, I'm going to make this coach like me.
Yeah.
You know, simple as that. So, I would take what I already know and what I already have in my game, and I would take what they're trying to teach me. And this is just as a player in sports in general, is you have to know how to take what you have and what you're learning from a different coach and put it together.
Yeah, that's
you have to know balance. In all sports and life and everything, you have to know balance. Because you don't know everything, they don't know everything. You find common ground, though.
Yeah.
Because you could always take something from someone else and add it on to what you already have. So if you find that balance and you find that coach will start liking you a little bit more, maybe you'll start finding things that you like about that coach also, because it'll be a little different with you, because they see that you know what they're saying now, you know?
That's a good point. Yeah.
So I know we off subject.
No, yeah, that's shoot, hey, kids need to know that stuff, right? I mean, coach, but I think like where you guys are talking about like that, I feel like that goes into the coachability side of things too. Is like being able to be coachable regardless of how you feel about the situation, right? And be able to take the information in and say, okay, maybe I do need to work on this. That confidence level again. If you're too confident, you might not be coachable now because you're so confident in yourself that you're like, man, whatever. You don't know what you're talking about. You see me hitting these step backs out in that pickup game. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You see me hitting that step back in
Like
practice.
you said earlier, LeBron James and like Tyronn Lue on the Cavaliers.
Yeah, like they.
Everyone said it. Everyone made jokes about it, but it was pretty true.
Yeah, like-
LeBron was the coach.
Yeah,
It wasn't
like,
Tyronn Lue.
exactly.
LeBron
But
was
when
the
you
coach.
get Kobe and Phil Jackson,
That's
right?
yeah.
At first, Kobe, they butted heads a little bit, right? But
Kobe tried to do his own thing.
Yeah.
He wasn't winning, so
Then
he
he
finally
learned.
started listening.
Then he
and
learned.
they started winning.
and he's so much. Everything that he learned, he calls him like the Zen master. He's straight up like he learned everything, how to like run tape and all that stuff through him. Like,
Yeah.
So I think it's important. And for me, like, I never was coached. Like, I never had the opportunity like some of the kids have that they have you guys as coaches. Me growing up, I never joined a team. I joined like a team back in like middle school, which gave me this big old chip on my shoulder because I think the coach forgot I was on the bench when my parents came in the game and my whole family came, and even my cousin, And I was like, I was trying to play, whatever, but they completely forgot about me on the bench. So that left a big old chip on my shoulder growing up. So I always tell kids, first and foremost, be grateful for the fact that they have people like you guys to show them the ropes and show them like how to be, how to do certain drills, how to work on this and that, how to be, coachable, how to put effort into the game and how to dribble. Shoot, I mean, I learned dribbling through freaking N1 mixtape. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I learned. I was like, oh, that looks cool. I'm going to go do that at the park, And I go do it, and it's like, oh, damn, that felt cool. You know what I'm saying? That's all I did. But
however it comes around. Right?
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that's kind of when growing up, we didn't really have that opportunity, right? We talk about where you came from, and, us growing up, you didn't really have the AAU circuits and all that stuff, right?
I mean, me, I'm a little luckier, obviously, since I'm younger, it's bigger in my generation and everything. That AAU is so big, and then, more teams are around and everything.
Yeah.
So I was more luckier to have, and then my dad used to play out from Chicago. He grew up with Tim Hardaway, actually.
Oh, wow.
He personally knows Tim Hardaway, so, he was big
Shout out
in
Tim
basketball.
Hardaway.
Exactly.
Basketball is, like, really big in Chicago, especially. Yeah. And also Detroit, where I'm from, and like New York, places like that. Basketball is really big. So luckily, I was able growing up watching my dad play like in rec leagues and everything.
Yeah.
And
so you were immersed in the whole...
I wasn't playing yet, but I knew about it. I got to go watch Detroit win the finals in 2004.
Oh wow!
I was actually at the finals games for some of those.
Yeah.
So like, I was always around basketball. I just never got into it.
Right.
It was still there, like in the back of my mind, but I never got into it until I got later on after I quit playing soccer. And,
all the other sports.
I gave up on the other sports because I wanted something more fast paced and everything. Basketball was that sport.
Nice.
I found, that passion for it. So then I got into it and went, like, I'm here now.
And now you're coaching a bunch of kids and teaching them things. So that's all good, man.
Some of these kids been playing basketball longer than me.
Yeah.
But they still can see that I know more of basketball. I have a better basketball IQ than them at this point.
Yeah.
Now, hopefully they pass me in the future, obviously. But
they will.
Not yet.
Not yet. The next question I had, so that was perfect, man. I like that discussion. I think that gave a lot of value to people watching. The next thing I have is about the starting five, right? So we got the kids, okay, this is what you guys are looking for in the kids, and this is what we want to see out of the top 5 things for these coaches, for you guys as coaches, right? Now, in your guys' opinion, does the starting 5 necessarily need to be the best 5 kids that you have on your team, or are you trying to find like a balance?
Who you want to go
start?
first? I mean, I can start.
I'll let y'all jump in.
I can start. So my opinion is, one, it really depends on the situation. So I game plan based on film on the other teams, stuff like that. But with that being said, you asked the question: does the best 5 have to be your starting 5? No. You want chemistry on the floor. You want maybe your best 5 on your team are all shooters, and there's maybe only one defender in that whole starting 5.
Got to put that defender on there.
You're gonna need more than one person playing defense, right? Out of the 5 dudes. So I think it really, like you said, is more of a balance. Now, it's hard to say that as you get to a higher levels and everything like that. Obviously, coaches say, "Hey, I'm starting my best 5 no matter what." But I think one determination becomes to like matchups in the game. So I'm gonna watch film on the team that we're playing. So I'm gonna put my starting 5 together based on the team that we're playing, the tournament that we're going to, what I see from the other team. Because if they got 4 big dudes and I got 1 big dude on the floor, well, that's not gonna work out. So.
Right.
Feel bad for that big dude.
Yeah, so exactly. So I think it's more of a balance and a chemistry thing and what players work together on your team and in your organization.
Okay.
But, I mean, that's obviously my opinion as a coach.
And it's all conditional. It sounds like it's all conditional, too, based on, like you said, the tournament.
So, yeah, I really like to watch film on teams. I really like to watch my competition and see what they have. And I basically put my 5 together off of the team that we're playing.
Gotcha. Okay, cool.
Well, based off my experience, I don't ever watch a film on a team or anything. But, it's like tournaments, you play 3 different teams at a tournament. I will go watch that team play a team, like a different team that day.
Exactly.
Because film, they might just had a really good game or they might have had a really bad game the week before, however old the film is.
So you scout the day.
Yeah, but when I see them play that day, I know who's feeling good that day and who's not feeling that good that day. So, like, say someone's getting burnt on defense every day, they just feel slow that day. I'm going to have my best offensive player attacking that player the whole game, no matter what. Like, I'm going to have, actually, not even my best offensive player. I'm going to have whoever he's guarding attack him. He can go and guard my worst offensive player on the court. I'm going to still tell him to give the ball to that player and attack him because he's the best, like, option to be scored on.
You're looking for the best matchup.
Yeah.
Where's the mismatch at?
Yeah.
Right?
Where's your mismatch at?
So I agree with what he said. Your best 5 players aren't always going to be your starting 5, obviously. But how I look at, for my starting 5, even when I'm just picking players out of tryouts or anything, I look at each position specifically. So I tell my players, even in practice, after I have a team set, you're fighting for that starting spot against whoever else is playing your position.
Mm-hmm.
So if I have 3 point guards, I'm telling them, you guys are fighting for that starting position, that next position, and whoever is playing the worst at the moment, you're going to be on the very end. But like, say 2 weeks later in practice, that player that's at the end ends up being the best, he's going to start.
Okay.
And maybe that starter ends up being the last player. Every single day of practice is a fight for a starting position, for minutes in general. Starting position, bench position, whatever, minutes.
Gotcha. Okay.
So my best point guard is going to start. My best shooting guard is going to start. My best small, my best power forward and center, they're all going to start based off of how they did against their teammates in competition. That's why I said sports is competition. It's competition against your teammates, but then when you get on the court, you got to know, these are my teammates now. It's not competition against them no more. It's competition against the other team.
Right.
But during practice, you're competing against yourself and your teammates.
For that spot.
Yeah.
I got you. So it's interchangeable still. Even
Yeah.
at that point. It's like not
I don't
always
like
gonna
having
be...
a set starting lineup for a whole season.
Yeah.
Because players change daily. Not even like season by season or by week. It's daily. They change.
Have you guys seen programs that they are like set, like that's always been their 5?
Actually, most of the programs I've gone against, they have a starting 5 every
Most of them
time. And actually, that's
the same.
Sometimes that actually helps us win.
Because you've already seen.
Yeah, we already know who's starting. They
Yeah.
might be having a bad game, but they're still starting. I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm going to change up my lineup sometimes based on if the coach is going to keep that starting lineup the same. So, as matchups wise, I'm that coach that's really big on a player should be able to adjust their game and adjust their game based on how the other team is or what their matchup is. If I have a starting 5 and only one player is tall and I'm playing a team that, say, 3 of their players are tall, those 2 players that are undersized, they know their advantage and they know their disadvantage. So as a basketball player, they should be able to adjust their game based on that.
Yeah.
So I expect them as a player to be able to do their role as a player and adjust. I'm not going to, okay, you can't start because you're not tall enough.
Right.
Because I was never a tall player. I'm like, my point guard was the same height as me, but when I started basketball, I started as a 4.
Yeah.
I played power forward.
Yeah.
Because all I was good at the time was defense and rebounding. But I did it better than all these other players because I had so much hustle, Like,
So you're like the Patrick Beverly.
I was compared to Dennis Rodman growing up.
Oh, damn.
That
could be a good thing and a bad thing. No, I'm just kidding.
And the reason,
Hey, Detroit.
Yeah, like,
Right? That's Dennis Rodman.
I had tournaments where I averaged literally 2 points.
Yeah.
Because I only had one shot every game that went in.
Yeah, a bunch of
But I would
rebounds.
have the most rebounds on my team, no matter what. Center was taller than me, more athletic. I still had the most rebounds. I chased them down.
Yeah.
I tipped them up, got them. I could jump quick,
Yeah.
I used what I had to get those rebounds.
I was just kidding. It's not a bad thing, man. Des Rodman's a beast. He was a beast. Yeah, he was one of my favorite players growing up because of all the stuff. I mean, he was that guy that you would always see on the highlights jumping for the ball, calling the timeout, like
and actually,
letting in the stands.
Shout out to Dennis Rodman, actually.
Yeah, shout out to Des Rodman.
Because I think every single player should go watch Dennis Rodman film. Like, even if you play his position or not, play like him or not, I think you should go watch him, Patrick Beverly, Marcus Smart. Watch those players that have hustle because that's the type of hustle that coaches look for.
Yeah.
You can't teach hustle.
That's going to get you on the floor.
Yeah, you can't teach hustle.
Yeah.
Sometimes a game comes down to a rebound. Hustle is what's going to get you that rebound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't look at just, can I shoot? Can I play good defense, rebound? Look at, can I put the energy in to beat the other team's energy?
Yeah.
Because they might be better than you at something, but if you have more energy than them coming to, like, say you're both going for a rebound, they're taller than you, they can jump higher. If you have more energy and more hustle, you can get to that ball before they even get to it.
They're scrappier.
Yeah.
You got to be scrappier.
Play a little, play a little physical.
Yeah.
I got to tell players that all the time, especially in this generation. play physical, because I'm going to say, like, pretty much all the players I've seen on my team specifically and other teams we played, soft. They are Charmin ultra soft.
Charmin ultra soft.
Like,
Charmin?
Dang.
I
can have a big man who's taller than me playing, and he gets flicked.
Yeah.
Where's my foul? Then that makes me mad. Then I'm going to get on them and not the rest, talking about where's my foul. You should have made the layup in the first place. You should have got the rebound back and put it back up, if anything.
I have a feeling
you should have got back on defense.
Yeah, I have a feeling Coach Archie is going to be like, he's going to be showing this film, but let him know, like, hey.
I'm going to show it personally.
Charmin ultra soft.
I already told Ed.
Charmin ultra.
Like, they need to learn that you can't rely on the refs to get you out of a situation. You're the basketball player. You should be doing what you can to the 100%, 110% before you start looking at a ref to call something for you or expecting a call. Don't ever expect a call. I pretty much put it that way. Yeah. Never expect a call. Because a ref could be talking to a parent in the crowd, turning around, not even looking.
Come on, refs.
I'm like,
come on, refs.
Hey, I ref too, so I know. Like sometimes, like
come on, refs.
Come on, refs.
Like you never know, especially with AAU and boys girls club, you never know. There could be a baby that's like walking out on the court.
That's true.
You gotta turn around. You gotta turn around and stop them. You're not watching the game, but you didn't stop the game, so like you can't like always be 100% on the game when you're at things like that. Now NBA and in college, that's different. You know, that's higher level. They're always, but they have like 3 refs too.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's one more ref.
So you out here saving babies' lives.
Yeah, like
don't worry about the game. Sometimes.
Don't ever.
I feel that.
You know, the matter.
More important.
The matter of the fact is, don't expect a call.
Yeah.
Like play physical. I don't say play to hurt the other team, but in a way, you should be playing like that.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
don't do it purposely, but do it to the point where you're trying to win. Like
an
elbow here and there, a little shoulder here and there. That's basketball.
Yeah.
That's not like dirty. Yeah. I don't care what all these players playing in these little suburbs talking about that's dirty. You ain't played street ball before. That's dirty.
No, you're right. And I think I see it all the time going to the gym. Like whenever the OGs see some like high school kids or fresh out of high school kids.
They go straight for
they go straight for the kids because they know that.
But at the end of the day, they talk to them. They're like, that's basketball.
This is basketball, This is basketball,
It's still a contact sport,
y'all.
Yeah. Because I'm about to say, I go for a rebound against some of these high schoolers, and I'm 19. You know, I'm barely out of high school. They know me from high school, or when they were in middle school, or they might have been in high school, like younger grades when I was a senior or something. I go for a rebound, come down, maybe hit him with an elbow, and I'm boxing him out. I might throw him back or like hit him with an elbow. They're like, damn, bro, why you playing so hard? I'm like, I'm playing basketball. I don't know what you're doing out here. I'm playing basketball. If you can't take it, then get off the court.
Yeah.
And they think I'm joking at first. If I'm looking at them serious, like, I'm serious. If you can't play, get off the court. You know? Yeah. I know a few other players just waiting to play that will come on and play way better than that. You know?
I think that's a fun aspect of the game too. That's part of the game.
Yeah, physicality is part of basketball. I'm like,
part of any sport.
Yeah. If you have a coach that tells you, "Oh, you want to be physical, play football," that coach needs to go somewhere else. He don't know what he's talking about. Simple as that. Because you have to have physicality when it comes to basketball.
Any type of sport, any sport except for like maybe
unless you're like
golf or something, tennis or something like
baseball,
that.
Soccer.
But tennis they be throwing rackets at each other, so that's kind of dangerous, man.
Don't be physical in soccer because they're gonna flop.
What is up with all? There's a bunch of like memes and stuff like that about soccer I've been seeing.
Oh no,
soccer's a tough sport, man.
I played it.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's not bad.
They flop.
So that's perfect, man. So we talked a little bit about like the basketball side of things. Now kind of talking, like kind of switch it to life in general for basketball players and kids and whatnot. We talked about it before we started recording, but there's obviously when you guys coach kids, they're still students, right? They're still going to school. Basketball isn't everything. Ball isn't life, right? That's a big phrase. It's been a big phrase for how long? Ball is life, but really for these kids, ball isn't life. And even after that, ball is still not life because now we got other things in life that we got to deal with after school. But for your guys' kids, what kind of advice do you guys have for them on how to balance life, school, basketball? They love the game of basketball, right? Mm-hmm. But then they still got other stuff that they got to do and other responsibilities, which are more important, really. Yeah. So how do they balance that?
I'll start this one. So as I said, I'm 19. This is my second year out of high school. I did 1 year in college, stopped that too. I'm just working now. But if I'm not at work, which I'm at work a lot, but if I'm not at work, I'm coaching or training, or I'm home sleep. Like I only do like a few things.
Slept in a day.
It was my off day. Nah, but like, so for me, school wasn't a problem when it came to playing sports because I was naturally smart. You know, I knew how much homework, like I was smart enough to even calculate my grades. Like I knew how much homework I needed to do, which assignments I could skip and which one I didn't. Like I knew how to balance life already. I don't know where I learned that from. I think it was just out of just pure like smarts that I knew how to do it. But I was lucky enough to have that. Now I have players that like say like, oh, I don't know how to, or you know, things like that, or oh, basketball's taking over. I can't do my homework. I don't get no sleep. And don't quote me on this, but I'm just gonna.
I mean, it's running. So
I'm gonna admit it. I'm gonna admit it. Sometimes I tell that player, go to sleep and do your homework in the morning. Get up a little earlier and do your homework in the morning. Because it's easy when you're tired. It's easier to go to sleep and then just get up earlier,
right?
And go to sleep really late and have little sleep and get through that next day, and that adds on to the next day. Then you want to sleep like earlier that next day, but you might have homework again.
Right.
That's what I did sometimes.
Yeah.
I would just forget about the homework, go to sleep, get my rest in,
get up
do
a
it in
little
the
early,
morning, or do it at lunch if lunch is before the period, or do it in the class before
right.
if you had the time. Like find people. What kids don't realize is how to utilize time. Sometimes you're sitting in class doing nothing, and you don't realize that's a good time to do homework or do some like work that you didn't do already that's
right.
due the day or whatever. Yeah. That's a good time to do it. Or say you're eating. You can do homework at the same time as you eat.
Right.
You know? In the morning. Like, I don't know, you might be like doing your hair or something. You might have to like do some math. Think of the math out in your head while you're doing something, and then write it down after you think it out and you're done with what you're doing in the morning. Like, utilize your time. You multitask. That's multitask.
Yeah.
You don't have to just
time management.
Time management is big in life. That's work and everything. Sports, everything. Like, you have to be able to manage that time. Do more than one thing at one time. Yeah. That's gonna help you out through your whole life. Like, even after I stopped playing basketball competitively after junior year, senior year I had 2 jobs when I was playing football. All I did was go to school, go to work, or go to practice, and then sleep.
So you pretty much
I had no free time.
Yeah.
I had no free time. I saw all my friends at school. That was it. I did not hang out with my friends outside of school.
So similar to your schedule now, it's pretty much like, because it's either you're working.
Yeah, but now I have a little more. Now I have
more time to sleep.
Now I have a little more free time because I don't really sleep a lot.
Okay.
I was that person. I didn't have to sleep a lot. But a lot of these people, especially athletes, they're growing and everything. They got to sleep a lot.
Yeah.
So they got to find that perfect time because sleep is gonna happen. Mm-hmm. Some of them just fall asleep because they're so tired.
Yeah.
So that's why I say just you want to sleep right now, go to sleep and do the homework later.
As long as you're not in class. Don't sleep in class.
Yeah, don't sleep in class.
Well,
maybe.
I can't say that I slept through my senior year, but I was so smart that I could literally wake up and answer a question and still get it right. Like my teachers.
I feel like I need a disclaimer. Like these beliefs are not. No, I'm just kidding.
You can ask some of the people that still live here that see me and know me during my class. They would. One of my friends actually got mad in class because they were laying down and the teacher said, "Get up."
Yeah.
And I was asleep at the time, but I woke up when I heard him say something, and all you hear is, "Oh, why does Donnie get to sleep in class?" And I pick my head up. And the teacher looks at me, he's like, because I can ask Donnie a question like right now. He asked me a question, I answered it right. See? He answers it right even if he's asleep.
Yeah.
I ask you a question, you don't get it right.
Yeah.
So that means you need to pay attention and he knows what he's doing.
Yeah. I think,
I went right back to sleep right after that. So,
must be nice.
Yeah,
sleeping in class, I'm not going to say do that, but if it happens, it happens. If it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Handle your business. I think that's a key thing too, like time management. Like you said. Handling your stuff, right? Making sure that, and even like studying extra, right? Priorities, right?
Priorities. Set your priorities.
Yeah, and if you're not good at school, get better at studying.
As a trainer, and he could say this too, health is huge. Mm-hmm. If you're injured, let yourself rest. If you're tired and your body feels like you don't have the same energy as you should, let yourself rest.
Yeah.
That's where priorities change.
Yeah.
Now, maybe homework is top priority, but if your body's not feeling it, you got to change that priority around.
Yeah.
Homework becomes second, Yeah. So, set priorities, multitask, time management.
Yeah, because you're going to probably take longer doing the homework if you're tired.
Yeah, because when you wake up, actually, you start doing it really quick. Like, that's
You're
what they
more
say. We
alert,
have finals coming up, all those high schoolers, you know. Finals is coming up for some of y'all first year and everything.
Oh.
You know, really rest. Because if you have a good night of sleep, that helps so much on finals the next day. Like, I know that for a fact.
I think that's
like, I pass all my finals one way or another, but...
Must be nice.
I know, for real.
But I went through some of my
I
finals.
needed that brain in high school, man.
I went through some of my finals faster when I had a good night of sleep the night before.
Right. That makes
because
sense.
your body is fully rested, your brain is working 100%.
It makes sense. That makes sense. All right, man. What about you? What you think?
No cheats.
No, I'm not cheating at all.
He never slept in class.
I actually see it similar, but I see it in a different way. So, my biggest thing on how to bring education to an athlete to make them be successful. So there's a lot of kids that I've seen just going to games recently that don't make grades, right? Well, that's because they're not worried about school. So, in my opinion, how to fix that, and this is a life lesson, create a routine. Become somebody who does things in a routine in life. So, if you decide to come home from school and you have your practice is at 7 o'clock or whatever, make sure you try to do your homework in a routine aspect. So if you do it at 3 o'clock, do all your homework at 3 o'clock. Now, I'm not saying that don't utilize your time, right? So you utilize your time in class where you got free time. Like, man, I finished most of my homework in class, y'all. I don't know why you guys are not getting your guys' grades up.
All of it in class.
Right? So, like, but use your time.
I never did my homework.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, man, damn. Y'all hella good.
Yeah, let me phrase what I said. The homework that I actually did.
That's right. But, like, use your time.
Home, never
I ain't gonna lie.
Use your time wisely, but I think as the sooner you figure out a routine in life, because as you get older, life becomes hard. Yeah. There's a lot more things, like you guys high school kids, man, I know you guys as parents, if you have parents that speak into you, if you have mentors that speak into you, they're always telling you life is hard. Well, that's a true statement, y'all. Life is very it is very hard. As you get out of
I can vouch.
Like as you get out of high school, as you move out of your parents' house, as you start having kids, as you start figuring out life, your time as a person and your personal time is gone. There's no more of that.
Yeah.
So utilize that time that you guys have now and try to create a routine so when you do have life that comes like at 25, 26, whenever that has to happen for you, you already have that routine in life. So like my routine in life, it took me a while to figure it out. But my thing, and my dad will quote this because my dad's the one that told me it. For me, if I don't get what I have to get done, that is my passion. So basketball, for example, if I don't get my training done or what I want to accomplish in life done before life happens, then it's not going to get done. Now that's me. Now everybody else has their own way. So he's on that 4 a.m. grind. So he's kind of with me on you have to do it before life happens. So life is his kids, his work, everything like that. But he gets up he sacrifices his sleep, he sacrifices what he needs to sacrifice to be able to get up at 4 a.m. to do what he wants to accomplish in life. So that becomes a routine thing. So I think it all comes down to routine. So get out there, get your homework done when you need to get your homework done. I'm sorry, y'all.
Don't procrastinate.
Don't procrastinate, one, but I'm sorry, y'all. You guys are spoiled. You guys all
Sharp and soft.
Yeah,
spoiled.
sharp and soft, spoiled. You guys play video games too much. You guys are on your phone with that social media too much instead of worried about schools. As you get older, as you go through college, as you become an adult, you have to learn how to prioritize your time and become a routine in life. So that's how I bring education with an athlete together. Like that's how I feel they're gonna be successful. All these kids, man, they don't make grades and they ain't sitting on the side. Oh man, I can't play. That you ain't playing because you're not you're not in a routine in life, and two, you're not prioritizing your time the right way. Yeah. You want to sit on this Xbox for 7 hours? Well, you need to be doing your homework. Even if you don't have a family that tells you, hey, you can't play Xbox. If your mom and dad or whatever let you play Xbox all day long, well, finish everything you need to do first before you go have fun.
You make me want to throw away my Xbox now. Damn.
No, you can have that Xbox time all day long, but you know when to play that Xbox.
Thank you.
You got your life set up as a routine.
There ain't no Xbox there, guys.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe turn the camera around.
Going off of what he said, though, like how he said, you might not have parents that tell you can't play Xbox. now that he says that, I'll say this to all those players, like sports is a watered down version of real life. You know, it takes up a lot of time. Mm-hmm. It's something that, in some people's cases, they feel like they have to do it. You know, like how we have to work. We have to. That's how you get through life. It's not an option. It's a requirement. You know, so school is the same thing. That's a requirement. You have to fit that into your schedule. You know, you can't choose. Oh, okay, I'll move this here. It's this certain time, this certain day, all the time. It never changes. So, with that being said, if you can mentally be strong and take out those like moments of Xbox and all that, even cut it down a little bit maybe, or take it out completely, you're ready for life. Yeah. Even if you could be 14, 13, whatever, you're ready for life right there. Because that's the biggest, hardest part of life is the time management part of it. Yeah. If you can get the time management out, you'll figure out everything else later on. Yeah, like, that's no big deal. Me, I played games growing up, but I was never that kid that liked to play all day. Like, I would go outside unless, I'm from Michigan, so it was snowing a lot. So those times we'd be inside playing games. But it would be different in summertime. But I started working at the age of 15. 15 and a half, I stopped playing games completely. Yeah. Like, I didn't touch my Xbox or my PlayStation. Like, it just sat there. Yeah. I stopped playing games completely. And people were like, how did you do that? I'm like, because I actually have things that I'd rather do more than just play games. Yeah. You know? I wanted to be out there working, making money. Yeah. I wanted to be my own person. There you go. Now, I'm not, as I tell all my players that I coach and train, do not grow up too fast. I will say that I grew up too fast. Yeah. And I missed a few years of my childhood. Do I regret it? No, I don't regret anything I do. Because things happen for a reason. That's what I believe in. I don't regret it, but a lot of these kids coming up to me like, oh yeah, I'm almost ready. I'm almost at that age where I could work. I want to make money like how you did. Because I remember they always see me pull up my own car that I owned when they were like younger, and I gave them a ride. I'm like, just wait. You know, it's gonna happen eventually. Don't rush it.
Go at your own pace.
Yeah. Like, don't rush it. Like, oh, I want to work at 16 as soon as I can. Some of them don't have a driver's license yet at 16. I'm like, well, see, the difference from me and you was I was driving. You don't even have a license or a car yet. So we have different, like, we start off different ways. Yeah. And that's why I tell people, I'm a different breed than y'all, though. Because I grew up in a family where working is just their thing. Like, my mom's side of the family, all the ones that retired went back into a job somehow. They're working. They still want to work, make money, use their time. They don't want to just sit around and do nothing. I can't sit down and just do nothing. I have to be doing something, you know? So I'm different from other people. I had the mentality where I wanted to go to work. As he said, a lot of these kids are spoiled. They're lazy. Yeah. They don't have the mentality to work. So that's why I'm scared when they actually get to that point where they have to work, because they're not ready for it.
It's going to be tough. Yeah.
I work at FedEx warehouse right now. All the kids that graduate, normally they come in, they last maybe a month. Maybe 2 if they're good. And then the ones that stay are the different. They're different. They have that mentality. But about 2 out of 40 stay. Yeah. You know? So I see them come and go. I'm like, they're not ready for it.
Yeah, I think you guys are right. I mean, shoot, at the end of the day, like, school and sports, that's basically like your preparation for life. So your schedule for school, like, I got to go to freaking English class or math class or whatever. You can substitute that when you get to real life, like, I got to go to work. I got to study, I got to study what my career is going to be. I got to study some whatever I need to do to do the things I'm passionate about.
There's a little more flexibility when it comes to real life, but also there's a lot more responsibility. Yeah. You got work. So there's easier part of it from high school, but there's a harder part from high school and school and everything. Yeah. Now, like I said, don't rush it. People are like, oh yeah, well, after I got out of high school, I'm not going to say I want to go back to high school. Yeah. I was saying that the first year out. I want to go back to high school. I'm tired of this life.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, bro, you're still young. Wait till you get like 10 more years in, 6 more years in.
We make songs about going back in time, bro.
No, actually.
Yeah, songs about where I wish you could go back.
This is a good topic, though, because earlier when you said, why do I coach? I didn't, fully answer it. Like, this is why, I coach. Like, I know I'm going to be using time up anyway. Why not give that time that I know I'm going to have to use for something anyway to someone that may need it or may just want it, or just help them in general, even if they don't need it or want it. Yeah. Help kids out. That's what I just think of life in general. When you're older, you should be helping someone younger than you every time. If it's a day younger, a year younger, a generation younger. you have more knowledge than they do.
Yeah.
So help them out like you wish someone did when you were their age.
Right.
You know, you may not have someone help, or you may have someone help. Like I've had people help me.
I'm the opposite.
I
I was on an island.
I've had people help me a lot growing
Yeah.
up, and that's why I am where I am. Like people will say,
3, 2, 1.
"Where was I?"
My bad. We got cut off. Apologize. We ran a little far into there, but you were talking about what was he talking about?
So I said I was on an island. Basically, he said he's
Yeah.
had a lot of people in his life, mentors throughout his life.
Yeah, like I had a lot of people to look up to. Like Emilio is like my prime example of Archie and Emilio, I would say. Like my dad was the one that got me into basketball and everything. You know, he's the one that made me want to really do my best at it. But when it comes to coaching and training, Emilio and Archie are like the two that got me to where I am and like why I do what I do and everything.
Yeah.
Now I have my own take on it also, but they're the main ones that I like base it off of.
They influenced a lot of it.
Yeah. Like how, because again, I've coached multiple teams every season except last season. That's kind of from Archie's side. I've seen Archie coach multiple teams almost every season I used to play.
Yeah.
You know? And then Emilio's side is the training side where training's not my job. Like, I don't charge to train players, obviously. Because I say if you're going to put the time in and the effort in, I'm going to give you that same effort and time, you know? So I'm not going to charge them money. I just pretty much charge them time.
Right.
So, the same thing Emilio. Emilio's been doing it for 23 years straight.
Mm-hmm.
A free clinic every weekend, every weekday that he has the gym, never charged anyone.
Yeah.
You know? That's a big inspiration right there. He's been doing that longer than I've been alive.
Yeah.
And that's crazy to think that he's been doing it that long and hasn't made a penny off of it.
Yeah.
You know? That's dedication to the sport. That's dedication to the younger generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's dedication to wanting to make someone's life better.
Yeah.
And that's what I always say. Like, not saying in a depressing way, but I want to make the younger kids' lives better than what mine was. And not saying that I had a bad life. I had a great life so far.
Yeah.
Still going, obviously. I'm 19. I feel like I've already had
Still
a
got a
great
long
life.
way. Yeah.
I want to make their life better than mine. You know?
Right.
So wherever they are, you know, some people don't have a good time at home. Some people have a family that they have problems in or whatever. But when they're in the sport, you know, they can forget about it. They find a comfort zone.
Me and Danny use it all the time, and I say it all the time. We use a sport as a sanctuary. It's kind of what you're trying to think of.
So you don't want to
use that as a sanctuary.
You don't want to be that coach that makes them hate that sport and not want to play it no more. You want to be that coach that makes it better than what it already was, just as the sport itself. You want to make them feel better, you know, through it. You want to help them through it, and then maybe they get close enough to you to the point where they tell you the problem that they have, and you even help them with those problems also.
Yeah.
And actually change that for them so that you make their whole life better.
Yeah, I think like as coaches, you guys have a chance to impact. And you know the thing is, you guys don't even know the impact you guys have in their lives, right?
That's humongous.
You know what I'm saying? Like you can do the things you guys are doing and coach them and speak into their life and mentor them and you might not even ever see them again. Like it could be like a couple after the season's over, they might disappear, move to another, you know, state or whatever. And you don't realize the impact you have on them unless they become like some NBA star and they go back and say, man, Coach Donnie changed my life forever. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I don't care if they become NBA, overseas, whatever they do.
Right.
Even if they don't even play basketball anymore, as long as it helped them in life, I was successful, you know?
Yeah. And I think we need more coaches like that.
More coaches that
y'all are sharp and soft too.
More coaches that get the best out of the players, man.
Yeah.
You want to try to get the best out of your players. You always want to be engaged in the game, always talking to your players. Mm-hmm. Man, if you just sit there on the bench and you just are quiet, don't say nothing as a coach, what are you doing as a coach? Mm-hmm. How are you speaking into these kids' lives?
And not even just the players. Get the parents involved. Also.
Oh, yeah.
Get the parents involved. Now, some parents don't know the sport or like, oh, maybe they're foreign and they don't, you know, English good or whatever, you know, they're not as much into it as a kid. Still get them involved in any way possible, you know? Because somehow, some way, I've seen it, that actually can get a better bond between the kid and the parent.
That's
also.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You know, you're like the glue. That
gives them an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Going to your kids' games, man, I was not fortunate to have my parent be at all my games. I mean, my mom's sick. My mom's done the best she could to be at most of my games. But to have as a parent, and I'm not one, but to have one there at a game every day is so important to a kid. As they grow up, it becomes so important with that bond as you grow up, in my opinion. Like, having your mom and dad at each game, every game, even if you sit the bench, even if you don't play and you're still there supporting them, that's what the kids need. That they really drive with that. They really thrive off parents being at the game, being supportive.
Yeah, I think that's a big deal. And as a parent myself, I can honestly speak to the fact that it's hard as a parent to make it to every game.
Of course.
But even just like being involved, like asking questions like, dude, how was your game today, man? Did you kill it or what? Right. You didn't kill it? That's all right. That's all right. You're still my son. That's what matters, man. Yeah. You know, stuff like that. I think it's important, you know, because obviously there's parents out there that work like crazy or they have life situations. But like to your point, it's important for you to be involved in your kids' life. And yeah, there are parents out there that, you know, kids are in situations where parents are extremely against, you know, them being in the sport. Oh, yeah. There are parents out there that just don't even care about, you know, let's be honest, like, there's parents out there that just aren't about their kids at all. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
That coach
is that goes in for their parent.
Exactly.
Their parent.
Exactly.
Like, that's what I'm saying. I'm 19, and I actually had 2 players tell me that, like, I'm more of a father figure to them than anyone because they don't even have their dad in their life.
Yeah, I know all about that.
And that makes a big a big impact on them, but also on me because I'm 19 and over here and I'm a dad. Like that's crazy. But after you know, at the end of the day, you think about it, like, that makes me keep going. You know, that feels good. You know, it makes you feel like you're doing good. It makes you feel successful, but at the same time, it makes you like, this player looks at me like that. I gotta care for them. You know, you can't just dip out after that. You hear something like that, you gotta be there. Yeah. You can't leave after that, you know? And that's when, like, because I was talking to Archie and Ed about it yesterday, like, I don't know where I'm gonna be coaching Spartans, like, when I get into my career trying to be a cop. I'm like, we have a lot of coaches. Well, no, we have one coach who is a cop, and we have a few parents that are cops. And normally I see the parent who's a cop at the game. So apparently they find time, which, you know, it's flexible schedule and everything. And then that coach, he coaches. So he's there, you know? So I'm hoping that I can still be coaching even after I become a cop for Spartans. Yeah. You know? And if Spartans ever breaks up or, you know, we get older and everything and it dissolves, hopefully I find another team because I'm close with a few teams, you know? Now, Spartans is the longest running team so far, except for Wolverines probably. Right. But they're the ones that everyone's saying it looks like it's going to keep going because all the other teams are starting to break apart and the new teams are coming up. Yeah. So whatever it is, I hope I'm able to coach or help some kids somewhere. Yeah. In anything, basketball, life, whatever it is, you know? Yeah. Like, I played football too, so I can vouch for this. Some parents are like, oh, I don't want my kid playing football because I think they're going to get hurt. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to tell those parents that kid looks at it as you didn't give them a chance to experience something in life. Now, I get it as a parent, you don't want your kid to get hurt. That's like the worst thing you want to see. Like, I think I can relate to that feeling. I don't have a kid, obviously, but I have kids that I look at, you know, like I have kids that I look at like that, you know. So you don't want them to get hurt, but I realize life is just, you can get hurt at any time in life. That's true. You can die at any time in life. You know, you don't know what's going to happen in the next second or next minute or anything. So, as they say, you only live once. Go for it. Let them do it. If they get hurt in football, I mean, that's just a lesson. That's not all bad. That's a lesson to learn from. Okay, football wasn't it, but at least they got to experience it. Yeah. You know, at least they got to personally say, okay, football wasn't my thing. Yeah. You shouldn't be the one to tell them that it's not their thing. They have to decide that for themselves. They're another human being that makes their own decision. You know? Yeah, give them an opportunity to try things they want to do. Yeah. Whatever it is. Like, obviously not forcing them. Like, for me, I don't force my kids to hoop, even though I love the game of basketball. I want them to organically fall in love with the game. And your older son, he does actually like it. He wants to get better. Yeah. You know, I see it in him. Yeah, and that's me not pushing them. I'm just younger. Like, they just want to go in there and they just want to ball and they just have a good time with it, but it's not me like saying you're gonna go to AAU program, you're gonna do this. I'm gonna freaking get you outside with a tire and a freaking elastic band. Do all this crazy stuff. I just said when I have kids, and as much as I love sports and sports runs through both sides of my family, if they don't want to play a sport, they don't want to play a sport. Yeah. As long as they find something that they like to do. Right. That's what matters.
That's important.
It ain't gotta be a
supporting sport. Them and allowing them to be
themselves. It ain't gotta be a sport.
Yeah. I think that's key. That's key. Well, shoot. We're just going to pretty much wrap it up. But I appreciate you coming, man, and hanging out with us. Shout out again to the Spartans, Coach Archie. Hopefully you didn't talk too much trash, bro. But
anybody wants to come try out or play for us, come on. You know, I might be your coach.
Link right here. Hold on to it.
Set it on a platter too.
Hey, tag Tracy Spartans and my Instagram.
I got it. You gotta hold it a little longer.
Over here.
Okay, right here. Okay. Damn, he just took over.
I'm taking his spot now.
Damn.
It's already happening.
Ouch. No.
I'm the co-host.
Oh, throwing shade already.
Hey, they know I be talking a lot of crap on the court.
Yeah, we all do. But no, I really appreciate it. The last thing I wanted to add to this whole thing is we are going to be doing a giveaway. So a couple things I need, and if you guys are following the Instagram or the Facebook, then you guys will know that a couple things that you can do for the early entry. But as of this post, here's a couple things you can do to get an additional entry. First thing is subscribe to YouTube, comment on our latest video, which is going to be this video right here. So comment below. Make sure you subscribe and also hit the notification button so you can follow up and know if you even won, because we're going to announce it in the next podcast. The other thing you can do is you can follow Hoop Lifestyle Podcast on Instagram, tag a friend and comment on our most recent post, and then also put the word done underneath it, and then that'll get you another entry. So technically you can have 3 entries in this whole thing. We're going to throw all the names in a raffle in a little hat or whatever we have, a Hoop Crate box.
We should cut a
Shout out to Hoop Crate.
We should cut a
plug.
basketball open.
What's that?
Should cut like the top of a basketball open and put it in a basketball.
Damn, man, you got a basketball for us to do that? I only got one ball, man.
I do.
Oh, shit. Hey, we can do that, too. Donnie's making his way back over here possibly next time with his own basketball. Yeah, so we'll figure a way out how to pick it. But at the end of the day, you can get up to 3 entries. And again, what you're going to receive is a Nike gift card and then a copy of the Mamba Mentality book, which is right here.
Yeah,
on a platter in front of me too.
Y'all gotta read. hey, we're not forcing y'all to read, but
reading's important. Yeah, reading's important.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna agree with. I don't read, so
reading is very important.
Don't sleep in class.
Hey, don't
read a damn book.
Lloyd.
Just go.
Hey, if you really gotta sleep, get some sleep.
And hey, I don't play football here because I don't want to get hurt. Charmin. Nah, I'm just playing. I'm for like Charmin right here.
Not sponsored.
Unofficial. Yeah. But again, appreciate you, Donnie, for coming through, man. Thank you very much. Thank you, Coach Nick, as always. So hopefully you guys got a little bit of value out of this podcast. We're going to keep it going. Make sure, again, you subscribe, hit the notification button, and also go to...
I want to hear that ding.
Yeah, hit that ding right now. And then also go to our Instagram, follow us there, and you can also like us on Facebook. The Hoop Lifestyle Podcast. Ben, a.k.a. Daily B-Baller from hoopcrate.com.
Bottom Lie Academy. And then what's your Instagram?
It's _Donnie BRZ_.
Boom, from the Tracy Spartans.
It'll be right here
Hey,
on the
I'm not all
platter.
about
And then on this one on
if
the platter.
if you question the name, I'm not all about basketball. I'm about cars too. So if you like cars, come hit me up too.
Hey.
There you go. All right, again, appreciate you guys coming.
Don't worry, I'm gonna still be giving them buckets.
Hey, when you beat me 1-on-1, let me know.
Hey, basketball's a team sport.
Hey guys, calm down.
It's a team sport, but if I'm playing you 1-on-1, it ain't no team sport no more.
We gonna end it like that.
We're done with this one.
Again, thank you for the Last Up Podcast. We'll talk to you guys later. Peace. That was great.
I'm gonna keep giving y'all buckets.
Great way.
Hey, bro, what the fuck? You didn't shout out your chick?
Yeah. One more time.
Hey, we're back.
Hey, we're back. Hey, shout out to the back-to-back champs.
Hey.
Hey, go Team Hoop Crate.
That's how you know he gets buckets.
All day long.
My team get buckets. The team game, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, he just said that's a team game. Come on.
He carries.
All right, talk to you guys later.
Deuces.